안녕하세요. You're listening to 4 from On One podcast.
Welcome back to Four from Onward podcast. We're doing another travel guide. I'm here with Hokjun. We've done New York, we've done Osaka, we've done Bali. Today we're going to do a little bit obscure place, but a really amazing place that I really want to go to. And Hokjun, you've lived in Darwin. If you don't know where Darwin
Yes.
is, Darwin's in Australia, my home country, but I've never been there. But my mate here's, you've been there, yeah? You had a great time.
Yeah, actually, I've been lived in Darwin for more than 6 months, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of like halfway through expertise.
Yeah, and you had a really unique job. We'll talk about your job in the future, but
Yeah.
later in the podcast. But let me tell you stuff about Darwin. Darwin is the capital of Northern Territory. It's a territory, not a state. Don't ask me what the difference between a territory and state is. I don't know. The population is 147,000 people. It was founded in 1889. In winter, the average temperature is what would you say in winter average temperature?
Winter average. I know the year average is like 36 or something, so
Well,
the winter average must be 28.
well, the average 25, in summer
Okay.
29. I think you're talking about highs, but it
Really?
is the humidity is what gets you. Yeah, the humidity is a killer. I've heard it. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, so they actually I don't think they have actually like dry season at all. But
Mm,
they have like dry season and wet season
mm.
and super hot season too.
The the wet season is sort of our summer. So during December, January, February is when it rains a lot. They get their flooding and stuff like that. Darwin is also
Oh,
the gateway
all
to
right.
Alice Springs. It's how you get to Alice Springs for many people, but it's not close. How far between Darwin and Alice Springs do you think?
I think it's like 12,000 kilometer or something.
Close.
I know
12,000?
1200,
1,200.
sorry,
Close,
1200.
1,500 kilometers. So it'll take you a good amount of time. From Darwin to Alice Springs takes 2 hours. From
Yeah, that's two
Sydney
hours.
to Darwin or Melbourne to Darwin takes 4+ hours, about over 4 hours.
Yes, sure.
So
Mm,
Australia's a big country, so it's bit of in the middle of nowhere. And Alice
yeah.
Springs is, yeah. Uh, and some famous movies, maybe watch some movies that document Darwin. There's the movie called Australia with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Jackman. A lot of that's
Oh
based in
yeah.
Darwin around the World War II period. That shows the
Yeah,
Darwin
yeah.
getting bombing and stuff like that. And the Crocodile and Dundee movies, of course, are filmed in Darwin,
Mm.
1 and 2. And I don't know if you ever watched this movie. I used to love it as a kid, but I've looked at ratings. People don't rate it very well. It's called Young Einstein.
Young Einstein. Never heard of
Young,
it.
no, it's a little Aussie movie.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should check it out. I don't know, maybe you might like it. That's
All
real
right.
in Darwin too. I also looked up some accommodation just for the end of the month on a Saturday. There are 3 hostels that I could find, and they're charging for a dorm between $29 and up. It's not really between, but $29 and up
Okay.
for our dorm in
That's that's a little bit
yeah.
higher than my expectation actually.
We should say, what year were you there?
I stayed in like three different places. So the first place that I was stayed in is I will call the actual name, Frog Shallow Traveler's Lodge. So it's kind of like traveler house, or we call in Korea it's like a guest house.
Yep.
I I think I paid like 10 5 or 10 bucks per
What
night.
what year was this? What year were you?
Uh it was 2013, so
So 10 years ago.
like 10 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Australia's got expensive.
yeah, the inflation got kicked in, so
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's different. And then like I used like 20-man dorm room, so yeah, it's more like It's more like a shed,
But what I
not a
did
proper housing.
with housing, what
Yeah.
I did find, you got a starting price for a very budget room was about $40, $50. But if you could reach into the $100 to $150 range, you start getting to stay in some resorts, pools, and stuff like this. Some of them look actually quite nice. So it starts off at pretty expensive, $50 for a budget room, but once you get into 100 and 150 range, you're starting to get a bit of luxury with pools and yeah, nice facility. Yeah, let's say in 2000, let's tell everyone what was your job when you're in Korea? Because I want to talk about the wildlife. One thing that scares me about Darwin is the wildlife. What was your job in Darwin?
Yeah. So I started my job as a leatherer,
Yeah.
which is doing the separating leather
Mm.
from an animal, and the animal is the crocodile, the saltwater crocodile for, making belts, wallet, shoes, and any other, fashion items
So you
for the
worked in like
Prada
a
and
crocodile
like,
farm, yeah.
yeah, I worked in a crocodile farm and I skinned them. Yeah.
Sorry to all animal lovers.
It's all right.
That's
Yeah,
part
I
of the
mean,
job.
like,
It's a job.
yeah, it's a part of luxury item making.
Mm. But you got to
So yeah,
feed the crocs, yeah? I think we'll try to get some photos of you doing this. Yeah.
yeah. So basically they're feeding the chicken head because nobody's eating chicken head, so it's a kind of like food waste, but I'm also, they're purchasing from, some like Ingham's or like big chicken farm uh, all around all around the Northern Territory. So it's kind of like upcycling, I think,
Mm.
feeding the chicken head to crocodiles.
And let's talk about wildlife. What wildlife did you see outside your crocodile farm? I know you got to be careful with the beaches. There are crocodiles on the beaches, sharks on the beaches. What wildlife did
Yeah.
you experience?
Actually, the most wildlife thing that I see a lot is like the ant house,
Yeah.
the
Termites?
like huge ant ones. Like
Mm.
I never seen something quite like that before in my life, and
Yeah.
I know like ants are like going down
Mm.
to to the ground. They're not going up actually. But like when you're traveling around the Northern Territory, then you will see like 2, 3 meters high rock, like gray rock, and then you go up closely, it is actually the ant cave.
Mm.
Like they're digging down, and also they're putting the stones from the cave, and then they're building the castle like way up than your height. It's a little bit scary actually.
Yeah. Any snakes? Did you see any snakes?
Oh, I see a lot of snakes there. Oh yeah, they're everywhere actually. So when you're going in the bush and you will hear like sound, and then yeah, they're always there. And
Spiders?
then oh, spiders are always too. Like they have the the red dot one. I
Red
forgot
red
the name of it.
redback spider. Redback.
Yeah,
The
they
redback. Yeah.
the redback. They're like just really small, like really tiny. They're black spider, and then they have like red dot on their belly, and man, they stings.
It got you?
They have like they have like really like hard poison, and
Yeah.
then they are like snuggling into your shoes, and then if you don't know it, like yeah, I got stung on my right foot once,
And
and
how do they
then
treat it?
yeah.
What did you have to do?
I went to doctor, and then I got the like anti-poison shot, like
Anti-venom.
antidote. Yeah,
Anti-venom.
antidote
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get you to tell you some stories. I know my dad's been to Darwin and he went barramundi fishing. Did you go barramundi fishing?
Oh, that's that's the stuff I kind of miss that I should have done the barramundi fishing when I
Yeah.
was in Darwin.
And the funny story from
Yeah.
here is they went barramundi fishing, him and his mates, and they caught the fish, but they didn't have the camera on the boat. So by the time they've had a day out, they caught some big fish. Like if you're watching YouTube, I'm showing how big,
Mm.
like it's got bigger and bigger every time. I guess the fish must shrink. So once they got the fish to shore and got the cameras out, they had shrunk, they reckon. So every time they tell the story, the fish was this big and then it was this big, but on the photo they've got, I guess they shrink eventually. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
I uh uh I think like barramundi they're kind of like more than 1 meter long,
Big fish.
like at least. Yeah, it's a big fish. It's like this big.
Mm.
And then yeah, there are a lot of like fishing hobby guys in Korea too. So, if I had that huge barramundi and then, hey, I got this fish in Australia, then what? I should have done the fishing trip.
Tell us what's any interesting trips you did do. What did you do in
But they have this street. It's a main street. It's called Mitchell Street, and it starts with the deck bar, and then it goes along with the like coals, and then a lot of like travelers lodges, and
Mm.
then at the end of this road, not the at the end of this road, but not the at the end of the main street, there is another bar called Shenanigans. So it is great place to bar hop from the deck bar to Shenanigan or Shenanigan to the deck bar. But I recommend you to go from deck bar to Shenanigan because the Shenanigan is kind of like in the center of the Darwin city area. So I really recommend you to do that.
Mm.
And then in front of the Shenanigan, when you get really drunk, you can go to across the street. They there is a place called Crocosaurus Cove, and they have like 10 or 15 saltwater crocodile. I think some of them are like rescued from the wild. Um, Actually, one of my good buddy named Tom, he used to be a photographer at that place, and then he told me that they have like few crocodiles don't have like their both feet or one feet.
I
Mm,
know
so
my mum went up there when I think it was when my brother was temporarily in the Navy, and my mum went up there, and they had
yeah.
barbecue crocodile on the beach where they ate
Oh
crocodile
yeah.
on it looked like a crocodile on a spit. Um, yeah, to be honest, I've never experienced this. It's very rare to eat crocodile, so it's not a normal thing. Like, yeah, did you eat crocodile?
Sorry. Yeah, I had tasted the crocodile while I was working for the crocodile farm.
What's the taste like?
Uh, it tastes like a little bit of like fishy chicken breast. Yeah, a little bit of like freshwater fish taste
Mm,
and the texture of the chicken breast.
okay. And like Darwin's just a city, like I said, it's a gateway for many things to go to Alice Springs, but there's a lot of national parks near Darwin to go see animals, go croc hunting, go do this with experts, obviously. But there's a lot of beautiful national parks with hikes and stuff like that to do. That's what Darwin's for, is to explore outside Darwin. Yeah, it's just a place to sleep.
Mm.
But Australia's very big, so it takes 3 4 hours to get to places.
The reason why I kind of know like how long will it take from Darwin to Alice Springs is that I drove my 1997 Honda Civic from Darwin to Sydney. So I put the TomTom. It's a Australian GPS navigation called TomTom,
Yeah.
and then it told me that turn right here on the Stewart Highway, and then going straight like 5,000 5,670 something kilometer to the to the South
5,000.
Australia, Adelaide.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. To Adelaide. Ah, okay.
Yeah, to
That's good.
Adelaide. And then it was like 5, 6 days driving, it says. But it's like night and day driving, so it's not as possible. I drove from Darwin to Alice Springs, and then Alice Springs to the Ayers Rock, the Uluru. And
Yeah.
then that experience I think I will cherish it for entire my life. It's great experience to visit Uluru, and also having a great time to drive around in middle of nowhere, and also the down under. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was great. Mm,
So we'll try and get some photos up on YouTube if you're not watching. Um, yeah, it's a great
yeah,
experience.
sure.
I haven't got to go there, but I really want to experience that. Not the animals. I'm a
Yeah.
bit scared of snakes and spiders. I'm a wuss. I'm a wussy Australian. But Darwin, I think I looked up. There's a lot of obviously a lot of our native Aboriginals live in Darwin, and so there's a lot of
Mm.
cultural things you can do with that. They can take you out eating the termites and all that stuff, or they got Aboriginal art museums or cultural museums. So there is a lot of culture that you can experience from the Aboriginals, and a lot of life skills you can learn. What happens to you if you get trapped in the middle of nowhere? Um, yeah. And
Yeah.
on that, one thing I would like to do, but it costs a lot of money. I'm not really a train person, but there is a train that goes from Darwin to Adelaide called the Garm. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah.
It's a bit
Yeah, yeah.
expensive. It takes 4 days. I had a quick look. It's $3,695 at least. So $3,700 per person. It takes 4 days and it gets you from Darwin to Adelaide and then stops along the way at Catherine, Alice Springs. And you've been here, Cooperpedy, yeah? You went there, Cooperpedy?
Yeah, Kupapiti. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be an interesting way to do a train trip. I don't know if I'm a train person, like the Rockies in America, or
Mm.
but if you want to see the outback in Australia with aircon, maybe that's the way to go. You get free food and wine. This ain't sponsored by the gun, but it would be an interesting
Yeah,
way to
yeah.
see the outback, Australian outback in modern train. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I was thinking about to take a train,
yeah,
but uh, I'm more like kind of, want to go to everywhere kind of person. So, the problem is that after you get off from the train,
mm,
you don't have any like mobility to move around. That's the
yeah.
problem,
Um,
actually. Yeah.
And what about living in Darwin? How did you handle the heat? Did most places come with air conditioning? I think in Korea, aircon and floor heating's like everywhere, but in Australia, that ain't common to have aircon or floor heating. Like my place here, we don't have aircon. How did you handle the heat in Darwin?
Actually, in Darwin, like everywhere is aircon,
Yeah?
everywhere is AC. Because if it is not AC, then you will not visit that place ever again. That's true. Yeah, that's the thing I think. And then my living place was in the like top floor of apartment building. So it always have a little bit of breeze, like sea breeze coming on. So it was great actually without turning the AC on, but the ceiling fan, like they they have like absolutely like thousands of ceiling fans in that place actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are all covered. Like if like my kind of room size, they have like two ceiling fans.
That's
So
hot.
yeah,
Do you think
it
it's
is hot.
hotter than Daegu in middle of summer? Do you reckon? Or similar?
You cannot compare. Like Darwin is the hottest city that I ever been.
Yeah. So
It's really crazy. Yeah,
I, I,
like one time I was walking around walking to my car
yeah.
from the store, and then the store have like really weird like wrong pathway. So I was walking down, and then they got it in the like asphalt on the path.
Yeah.
I s- I was so sweaty on like 10 seconds right after I got out.
Yeah.
I was so sweaty, my tongue slipped and I stepped on the asphalt, and
Yeah.
then I got my feet burned.
Yeah. I burned my feet on the sand the other day. Yeah. What about
That's
what
that's
about
that's
swimming?
crazy hard.
Is there a lot of pools, fish pools, lagoons? Can you go swimming? I know you've got to be careful of crocodiles, but where do you go swimming?
Yeah. So basically ocean swimming is not possible.
Yeah.
There are a lot of like jellyfishes, sharks, and saltwater crocodiles. So you have to risk your life to swimming in the seawater.
Yeah.
But there's a one place called Waterfront of Darwin,
Mm.
and they have like great places to swim.
Yeah.
One is the artificial wave pool. Uh, I think the entrance fee was like five Aussie dollar or something. It's
That's pretty
very
good.
cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very affordable. And then also there is a like really huge lagoon
Yeah.
right outside of the waterfront. It has just the like the natural ocean water inside. So
Uh-huh.
there are a lot of like sea creatures like turtles. I actually see turtles and the fishes and then actually the barramundi inside.
The lagoon.
Yeah, yeah, and then I think it's like 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer each. So it's a scale 1 kilometer. So it's a huge lagoon.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
everything's there, even though like you got all your shops, have you got the movie theater? So it's a pretty decent sized city. It's 1,000 people, 100,000, 174,000 people. So
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
there, the malls, the shopping. How's the food? The restaurants, many good restaurants, seafood restaurants.
Um, Actually, they have like really good street food in the Middle Beach Sunset Market. Um, that's happening in almost like throughout the year. It's they're starting from the April to October-ish,
Mm.
and they have like all the good restaurants. They have their tents at the Sunset Market, and also at the Sunset Market, you can get to mingle with the Aboriginal people there. Like they're making their like jewelry and then like their paintings. They're bringing all the stuff to sell out. And also they always making the like musical scenes. Like they're like using the drums and then what do you call they're
Didgeridoo.
something like a vuvuzela. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Didgeridoo. Yeah.
Yeah, didgeridoo. They're doing something, and then there I don't remember the name, but there was the like really famous Aboriginal DJ. He's playing didgeridoo, and then he's mixing
Oh, really? I
with the
don't know.
mixing with the modern sound also. So he's actually really great. Like I think I have his CD somewhere in my room.
If
Yeah.
we find the name, we'll put it on the screen. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
that's cool. So, any other like day trips did you do, or anything else you recommend people do if they come to Darwin, where to go from Darwin? Advice about Darwin?
Mm.
What's your couple tips or advice?
So I think I can recommend you to do the Darwin tour as what I just said. Like it should be like day one should be the bar hopping
Yep,
and the Crocodile Cove. The
yep,
day two must go to the Middle Beach Sunset Market.
yep.
So if you're like the market is starting up around like 4 p.m. So
Mm.
if you want to kill your time, you can visit the Middle Beach Casino Resort right next
Casino.
to the Middle Beach.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, yeah. So they have like fresh AC, and then they have the most cool beers in Darwin area, and then yeah, and that's really great. And the and for the day three, I really recommend you to go to the East Point actually. Sorry, East Point.
Okay.
So so at the East Point, they have like Darwin Military Museum, and then on the way to the East Point, you can see the Darwin uh, Museum of Art and like Northern Territory Museum
Mm.
also. So you can see a lot of like good Aboriginal. So people don't know the Aboriginal is the native people of Australia. So they have like Aboriginal culture thing, Aboriginal drawings, Aboriginal history, and then uh, there is a skull of Sweetheart. Can you guess who the Sweetheart is? It's the biggest crocodile ever
Oh,
caught in Darwin.
oh, no,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's longer than I think it was like longer than 5.6 meter or something. Yeah, it caught in like 1970s
oh.
uh or around, and then yeah, that's huge crocodile.
I do.
You can see the actual skull there. And then when you go to East Point, they have like military museum. I really recommend everybody to visit when you're visiting Darwin to visit the East Point military museum because as just Kit mentioned, they have like living uh, uh, site of Japanese attack on Darwin.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They still have like strike point. They have like uh, kind of like half cave barrack
Really?
because of the attack. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, and also near around there is very well organized
Yeah.
place, so you can stroll around. They have really good gardening, so you can walk through the tree tunnel. So it is very great place to be. And then also they have like lots of flowers there,
Yeah.
so it smells really good. Yeah, so I really recommend everybody to visit the East Point if you're ever visiting
That's
Darwin.
good recommendation. I'll have to check it out. Definitely. I definitely want to go there. Darwin. It's on the to-do list. Darwin's just the town. There's so many adventures you can do away from Darwin. So I think that's like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
definitely want to do the barramundi fishing, see some wildlife with an expert next to me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Did you do any camping outside?
Oh, I kind of like dare to do the camping. Actually, I did the camping actually outside of Catherine, not
Yeah.
Casuarina, Catherine. Like outside of Catherine is more desert area, so it's more safe.
Yeah.
But in the Darwin area, it's very close to the water. So yeah. It's
Crocodiles would
little.
enjoy you, mate. You'd be
Yeah,
very tasty.
crocodile may enjoy.
Or that
Yeah, actually,
Korean barbecue.
yeah, there's. Oh,
You would
what
taste
are you
good.
talking about? Yeah, I'm a garlic marinated one. Yeah. Yeah, I heard a lot of stories from the Darwin High School guys that they used to have uh like laying off the kids because they have like crocodiles on their field actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darwin High School is like right next to the Middle Beach.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so
That's a bit weird. That's a bit
yeah,
scary.
right next to the beach. So yeah, and then I saw actually a lot of like yeah, I saw a lot of wild crocodiles while I lived in Darwin.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's a neat.
especially in the
Yeah. Well, it's not a top place around the world that people know of, but it's definitely a unique place. If you want to get some adventure, get some unique experiences, if you come into Australia, like I said, it's a 4 hour flight from Sydney. Um, there's plenty of things to do out that way, to explore, see, do. I definitely want to go there. It's probably up there, top places I want to go in Australia right now. It's on the to-do
yeah,
list for sure. All right, buddy, thank you for telling us all about Darwin. And we'll put as much information
no
as we can
worries.
on the screen. And you might share some photos of him as a crocodile farmer. All
All right, sure, no
right.
worries.
Thanks everyone for watching or listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We're on all those sites. All right. See you later. Bye.
All right, have a great day.